The illusion of overwhelming struggles life has a way of magnifying pain, fear, and uncertainty until they seem larger than anything else. But the Christian must understand, perception is not reality. Struggles appear enormous only when God is small in our view. When we fixate on the problem, when we fixate on God, perspective returns. The first battle, therefore, is not with the world but with our own perception. To remember that no storm, no sin, and no suffering can exceed the sovereignty of God. God's sovereignty over human weakness. Every trial exposes something deeper than discomfort. It reveals dependence. Human strength fails, and that is by divine design. Scripture reminds us that His power is perfected in weakness. The believer's confidence is not in the absence of pain, but in the presence of God's will working through it. Our weaknesses are not obstacles to His purpose, they are instruments for His glory. When you feel too small to face what's ahead, that's precisely when God begins to show how big He really is. Faith is the lens that changes everything. Faith is not denial of reality. It is the interpretation of reality through God's promises. When the mind anchors itself in faith, circumstances no longer dictate truth. The Word does. Abraham looked at his old age and saw the impossible, but faith saw God's promise. David saw Goliath, but faith saw the Lord of hosts. In every generation, faith doesn't remove the mountain. It reveals that God was never beneath it. Struggles test our faith, not to destroy it, but to purify and strengthen it. Victory through surrender, letting God be bigger. True victory doesn't come from resistance alone, but from surrender. Not surrender to despair, but to divine authority. When you stop fighting to control what belongs to God and start yielding your heart to Him, you discover peace that surpasses understanding. The Christian life isn't about escaping struggle. It's about walking through it with the one who transcends it. When God becomes greater in your soul than the fears before you, the struggle loses its power. That's when you realize God isn't merely helping you survive. He's transforming you through the storm.